Oh, this is another episode of the Maturity Project, and I am the host, or Chad Ever Broshears to some, or Chad Ever Broshears to others. And today we're talking about just owning it. So, just owning it. It's just whatever's happened. You got to own your positives too. And I think most of the people just talk about owning the negatives. Like, for accountability, because that does help make progress, which it absolutely does. Without accountability, progress is incredibly limited. So, and progress towards goal. Not just, progress towards what? I mean, who the hell knows, right? But we'll just say associated with a goal, responsibility gets you there, but you have to own it in order for responsibility to work. It's yours, So just own it. Comes to mind is there's it's an actor that did that. He was in Transformers. Shia LaBeouf, or LaBeouf, whichever way you say it. He did the little thing that went viral, which is just him, just screaming at the camera, "Just do it, just do it." And it's funny, but here's why it's funny. It's just a thought exercise for you. But so why it's funny is because if you were in the state of mind that he is in and on that level of emotion, it wouldn't have been funny at all. You would have been like, hell yes, just do it. Where is he speaking from? You do have somebody who is obviously very successful. In the world of acting, the dude really he made something of himself. So he's just screaming, just do it. Just do it. It's like, what are you waiting for? Just do it. It means own it. And it's obviously do it, but if you do it because you said you're going to do it and you are the one after it, that's owning it, right? And that's what he's referencing. You take all the information he's trying to get to people. I laughed about it too, especially the way that it was framed into conversations from the people that would bring it up. I thought it was pretty funny. It's just, again, it was framed properly, but it wasn't so much funny for me that it seemed like this person's crazy. There was a narrative built around him being crazy for a bit of time, and it may still be kind of lingering for some people, but this, he's crazy narrative. Well, here's the thing about crazy, which is interesting, is it depends on the level of knowledge you have for the experience the person's going through. What are they thinking? How are they thinking? Where do they get to that thinking model? How do they get that thought process? Was their values so this is nature via nurture. It's not versus nature, which is most people get into. But in the thinking world, or the evolution of thinking, you've got, the processes that we are given genetically. And then we have the authorities that are our early authorities, often our parents. And what they give us as far as the thinking model is one that is very similar to that of what you get through DNA, because you don't really have a lot of say-so about, you actually have no say-so about that thinking process that you're being given. That's the way you experience reality, is directly through the lens of what your parents are showing you and telling you. And you're observing their thinking process, then you build logic to that thinking process, and before you know it, you're now using that thinking process for yourself in order to navigate reality, or the world that we live in. That's all outside of your control. And then you line up with other people outside of the family, and you start seeing differences than what you were brought into existing. So you have those experiences while you're with your parents, but then they can bring you back in by rationalizing in the way that they talk about and the way that they be about the experiences that you're having and your development. That's you're not voluntarily taking that in a way that says that, hey, I know this and I chose to know this. That is given to you. So you can still look at it more like a DNA type thing, because it really does not have much conscious option for you. But here's the thing, is that you actually can do something about that when you get older and you realize, or as you come to realize, whether you're older or not. Obviously, typically, you're going to have some age value from right now. But you learn that that's how you think, so therefore now you can gauge someone else's thinking model for the success that it generates and give that an opportunity for you to be the thing you use to navigate reality with. What you are now using to so what you're now using to understand reality. Oh, you heard the old Hemi there. Oh, you're now navigating reality with what you now know that you have choice over. And then you have to go through, look at the different building blocks that support that structure of thinking, and start exchanging alike values in that thinking process with another thinking process to help scaffold up or to foundation the new way that you would like to behave. So it does take a bit of work because you have to unlearn and to have that level of consciousness about your thinking process is incredibly fascinating and arguable on whether or not it's actually feasible to truly have that level of awareness and consciousness about thinking in itself. Most of us live our entire life and don't realize we have this ability. We have the ability to make these changes, and that you yourself can make the changes with the right amount of information, which is really what you get when you see a therapist anyway. They give you a specific amount of information and you learn a thinking process or tools for that, and then you can use that information that you've gathered. So it is fascinating to me. But so you just have to own it, is really bringing it back to the key feature here. When you own what you're going through and the decisions that you've made, you take, there's more value in it, and there's more you can do with it. So to quote Shia LaBeouf, just do it, just do it. God, that guy is awesome. And I'll give just a piece of this for Shia LaBeouf, and this is also how I can navigate, reality and navigate life, is what the narrative that I was taught through the media was that he was an unhinged human being that was just, he's gone crazy, he's gone wild, he's gone something, right, outside of the norm. And almost immediately, like at first I tried on the thought because I wasn't really paying attention. I saw it and just accepted what I saw for a second and said, wow, what he's going through, because I'm getting visual direction off of the behavior. But then you have to take into consideration, if the footage was edited, in any way, there's a lot of stuff you have to take into consideration in order to understand what the media is trying to tell you, because the media is, full of lies, and I don't care what channel you watch, it's just, they all seem to be lying. But you see this stuff and you're like, okay, well, for me, I said, well, first off, what's the differences between myself and Shia LaBeouf that I can obviously qualify? Well, one of those differences is that he's a celebrity. Very clear, very obvious difference between the two of us. He makes a great deal of money for his effort and what he does. So for every hour worked, he's making a significant amount more than I am for every hour worked. It's like we've got differing ages. I don't think it's really that far apart on our age necessarily. So I'm like, okay, well, that's not necessarily that big of a difference. But then what are the other things? I'm like, well, I don't have people provoking me on a regular basis, whether I'm prepared or not prepared for just dealing with people. I don't have people coming up to me with a fabricated reality, which is what happens commonly for celebrities, because people start liking a celebrity so much that they think about them as if, to some degree, that they would be relatable or friendly or something towards them. You know of the celebrity, but the celebrity almost guaranteed does not know of you. They know of you as a number, not as an identity, not as an individual. So what happens typically in situations like that, especially for the people that are really attracted to that particular actor or celebrity, not saying attracted necessarily to sleep with because of that physical attraction, but attracted to them for whatever various reasons they're attracted. It could be the fact that the way they speak is in some way associated with the person that has the desire to know them. It can be that maybe they want to speak the way that person does because of the way they articulate themselves or the mannerisms that they use when they speak, things like that. So they don't really have that. They're creating a relationship with somebody that is not there in the relationship for them. They're creating the relationship around the idea of somebody. But this person is so far distant from who they, that person can qualify, that it can create a false reality about that relationship. And that's where it starts to develop emotional values. There's all kinds of things, but there's only one person in that relationship that's interacting in that relationship. The other person is completely unaware. So whenever these people meet, there's an expectation to be treated a specific way that's built in the reality of this person's entertainment, what they've had in their mind. Oh, they've got the entirety of that reality, and then it goes from I don't know who you are, didn't know you existed, to you have a reaction that I should know who you are and that I understand the way that you think and that I'm going to care for you the way you care for me. Those two worlds collide. So you meet people consistently like that. How does it wear you down? That's the whole thing, is these things wear people down. So if you want to overcome these things, you have to understand that people do this. That's why they say if you have a favorite actor or an author, don't meet them. Because you're meeting your favorite author will ruin that relationship or them being your favorite author. So it's just stuff like that I've always thought about, and when I've heard of them, like, okay, well, I've really got to think the depth of this. So we don't know what these people go through. Excuse me. We have no idea what these people go through. All we know is that they go through something enough that makes them a celebrity, that makes them noteworthy, and all of that. That's what. Oh, all right. Put that stuff together often enough, and then somebody edit the video when you're acting a certain way, and let's say now you've got to face the fact that it's in the media, other people can see it, well, so can you. And then you got to deal with knowing that people are lying about you or framing the way you behave and creating a narrative around you that isn't true. Even if it's close, sometimes it is true, but we won't accept it. That only creates problems for the person. So the next time the camera comes out, they just sometimes eventually care. Just, you know what, screw it. And then you have animosity and anger and recording you the next thing you know. Yeah. All right. Don't know if any of that was lost because of the Wi-Fi. So that's it for today's episode. This is the Maturity Project, and I'm your host, Chad Ever Broshears, or Sir Chad Ever Broshears to some. Until next time, guys, remember, we've got a lot to do here, but you know what? Let's focus on ourselves. That'll get us to where we want to be. So would like to actually start a conversation with, and yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment in the comments. Catch you next.